What's up, everyone? Aaron Nagler here, PackersNews.com. I'm here with Pete Dougherty, who I guess you'd say is about to put all of Packer fandom in a tizzy, writing that the Packers could, nay, maybe should, trade for Khalil Mack, the disgruntled outside linebacker out in Oakland. Pete, have you been relieved of your senses, or what's going on here? Do you think this is an actual realistic proposition?
Well, I don't know that they would do it. And frankly, with the deal that I'm going to bring up, I'm not sure if I'm Oakland, I take it. But, um, you know, actually came up in a chat I did a couple weeks ago, and somebody said they actually said the two first round picks and then one of their outside linebackers, the two first round picks for next year. And like my initial gut reaction was, oh boy, that's just too steep. But the more I thought about it, both those picks are probably going to be in the 20s, and they could be later in the 20s. You put Mack on the Packers, it could be very late, and New Orleans looks like a good team. I haven't looked at the draft charts yet, but if you put those two picks together to move up, I don't even know if that gets you in the top 10. If it does, it's on the fringe of the top 10. So would you give up a 10th pick or the 12th pick of the draft for 27-year-old Khalil Mack? I would. And if I were the Packers, I would. And if I'm Oakland, I'm not sure I take it unless you just feel like you're at an impasse and you're just done with this guy. But this is a difference maker. This is one of the 5 to 10 best defensive players in the game. Everybody gets better if he's on your team. So I would think this is something I would look really hard at financially. It might seem like a stretch because they got to pay Aaron Rodgers too. But I was just looking at Minnesota. In the last 2 years, going back just to 17 and 18,
Right.
they've given out 200. It was just barely over $200 million in fully guaranteed money with Cousins and all the extensions they did on defense, and I think Diggs on offense. And the Packers have done like it was like 40 or 50 million in guaranteed money with Adams and Lindsley, and Bakhtiari was done before then. So I mean, you add all those up, and they're only like at 40 or 50 million. So if Minnesota can give out 200 million bucks in guarantees the last 2 years, including signing Cousins, then I think the Packers could afford to, because Mack is going to cost a lot of huge guarantee.
Absolutely.
But between Rodgers and Mack, I still don't know. I don't think he'd be hitting $200 million. So I think they can afford to do it if they want to do it.
Well, and that is kind of the MO of a lot of NFL teams, but do you think that's maybe possibly just a complete difference in philosophy? We've seen Minnesota go for it, so to speak, at a number of points in the last couple of years, whereas under Ted Thompson and now it would seem under Brian Gutekunst, the Packers are much more about trying to sustain success, etc., and maintain the kind of pecking order when it comes to the contracts given out in the locker room. I think wouldn't that be like the main driver of why this would not happen?
Well, yeah, especially if Ted Thompson were still here, then for sure. We're still getting our feel for Brian Gutekunst, and I don't know if he's as sensitive to the locker room as Thompson is. That's who he's learned from, so maybe he is. Like I said, I don't think this is going to happen. But if I'm the Packers, I think really seriously about it, and I don't know that it totally mortgages their future too. Now, those two first picks, of course, you'd love to have them, but
Right.
look at the Packers picking in late in the first round for the last 15 years. A lot of misses in there. A
Oh,
lot of misses. Kenny Clark looks like a real good pick, but a ton of misses in there. They could fan on both of those picks. So I would definitely look really hard into it. I would do it. And like I said, if I'm Oakland, I don't think I would do it, but that two first round picks would surely get their attention.
there you go. Pete Dougherty sending hearts aflutter all across Packer Nation. Make sure you're checking his stuff out at PackersNews.com. For Pete, I'm Aaron. We'll talk to you soon.